Welcome to Sunrise Sisters. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kate, and we're two runners who became friends quickly. We share advice, we laugh, and we're taking our runs off the road and into the studio.
Are you going? All right, we're going. All right, Kate, you want to let her rip?
Yeah.
You ready? You sound so enthusiastic. Okay. Good morning, Kate. How are you?
Good morning. How was your run this morning?
My run was really, really good. You know, it's the 1st of July when we're recording this. It is a misty morning.
Is this our first recording of 2023, July 1?
No, we did one in the beginning of the year. I think our last one was about snow, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's been a while. Now we're in summer. But you know what? Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this morning it was very humid.
Yeah, it was very
misty. You know, you and I didn't run together on Saturdays. We do our own separate thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought I might see you, though. I was out. I saw one of your running buddies drive by me. And I thought I might see you, like we might pass each other. But
So I run in a small group of women that I meet up with on Saturdays. Kate runs solo, but then we do our running 3 times a week. I won't name the days so I don't give it away. So
yeah, I can't believe you just told everyone I ran solo. I don't run solo.
That's right. You run with a tall bear. You run with Sasquatch. You run with
a rifle.
With a rifle and wasp spray, bear spray.
That's actually a good idea. We're not even 2 minutes in, and I have completely made myself vulnerable to the entire world.
Well, you know, if somebody was ready to kill us at this point, I think it would have happened. So I'm still feeling positive. But the whole point is we run separately and it's kind of fun to check in. Do you ever feel like when we see each other, though, when we run separately, it feels like this weird cheating on each other?
Yeah, it does. Well, you know what? People will say, I saw Shannon running with like other women. And I'm like, yeah, Shannon's allowed to run with other women.
We're individuals who have complex lives that might involve other people, but maybe to the world we look like we only have one friend and it's each other.
Well, for me, they're like, yeah, with all her friends and Kate's running by herself. Poor Kate. The women you run with are awesome.
They are.
I need I need to jam out to Taylor Swift. That's what it is.
Well, that's true. Like when you're running with other people, you may have I think you and I could say there's times where we need solo running time to either just listen to something else or just have that moment to ourselves to do it the way we want to do it. And then you get something different from that run. And then the runs you do with other people. So I go to also be social with other women because you and I like to keep our runs to just the two of us because it's we talk about what we want to talk about. We say things that nobody else can judge because we don't judge each other and that we wouldn't say in front of other people. It's like a run therapy. So we've kept that to ourselves, but these other runs, we get something else from it.
Yeah. I just love that. I think we're so respectful of that. I think that is such an important, we've talked about that. I think that's such an important, just to honor whatever that person needs. It's not about you or I. You know, I think if I knew that in middle school, life would have been so much easier.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's just like anything. Like if we knew some of that, like if you feel really good about yourself, you're not going to worry if you see somebody with somebody else that they're doing something bad because you know your relationship. You have such a strong relationship.
Right.
I think look how deep we're getting, but it's the truth. We go run, we do some things that we need to do in other aspects of exercise, right? And or do with other people. I just want to remark that you and I had a yoga class yesterday with one of the people that I run with, Tina, Tina that I run with on Saturdays.
Hey, Tina.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was really good. I think I was late actually, but I liked it. It was hard, but I really tried to stretch through some of it too. And yeah, I liked it. You're trying all sorts of new things.
Yeah, I think I'm in a phase where trying something new has been really, really fun for me.
Yeah.
And it fits in so I don't have to take away from the other things that I like going to the gym and our runs. So it's just fit in. And I like that it's Friday evenings because it feels like a nice transition to the weekend, at least in the summer, because it's still light And it feels like this really nice meditative transition. So I'm really glad you came with me, and I hope you do it again.
Yeah, it was so nice. It was I really had to work to like clear my mind. I was mowing the lawn before I got there, and I'm like thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this from 5 to 6, then we're gonna go grocery shopping. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna finish the lawn. I should have, and I'm like, okay, the point of yoga is to just calm your mind and your body. So like trying to, but yeah, it was really nice. It was. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm so glad you came. All
So
right.
we had an idea for a little segment. We're calling it
Run
Run
tank.
Tank. And we're going to pull a run topic out of the run tank and talk about it. So today's topic is hills.
Hills.
Hold on, Shannon's twitching. Calm down.
Ugh.
Calm down.
Hills.
Hills, it's best to do hills while swearing profusely.
That's
And
for sure.
you do a new thing with hills. Tell everyone what your new way to tackle hills, which drives me absolutely bananas. I don't even know how you're doing it.
I have a hard time with hills. So I'm going to distinguish between our runs and if I'm doing like a race. Okay. And I say race loosely because I don't race during a race. I just run the race. But there's something about when Kate and I run that we have some specific hills on our route. And they're not steep hills, they're just hills. And I have a mind over matter thing. I even talked to Kate yesterday about every segment of our run. I have a different brain, like, because we start off on a downward slope, so it
Yeah.
feels easy.
Yeah.
Then it goes like kind of flat and it feels harder and it tends to be a warmer area. Then we go a little bit down and I feel better. And then we come up and I start to question why I'm running. Then we get to this one hill at the end of our route. It's just like an upward slope, and I can't seem to get mind over matter not to walk it.
Yeah.
So my new thing that Kate is really disturbed and frustrated by is to get up the hill. I started to put my hands on my hips.
Everything in running says you move your arms to move yourself forward, but not you. You literally tie your arms to the sides of your body.
I run looking like a deranged chicken.
Is it easier for you to do that?
I don't know. I don't know why I do it. So in my brain, I'm opening up my lungs. Like I feel like by pulling my arms back, I'm getting more air to make it up the hill. I don't do this anywhere else. The truth about hills, right, is to just go slower. That's what I truly feel like works toward the end of our route. As I've said, I've had a whole psychological mindset issue because first thing in the morning, I haven't eaten yet. Like there's something about it. And it's been super humid and the smoky thing has been showing up here and there, the air quality. By that time, I'm barely hanging on. And I don't know, but the deranged chicken arm flap feels like a good idea. And it's just, I'm going with my gut, but it has no basis in any aerodynamic fact.
No, I thought for runs, I don't know where I got this. I probably made this up, but I thought you're supposed to take smaller steps when you go up a hill.
Right.
Keep your pace, but take smaller steps. So that's what I try to do. I try to take small baby steps, but keep my same pace. And then I usually will ask you 2 to 3 times a hill if we can walk.
Oh, you're full of beans because honestly, Kate, you are a pro going through the whole route. I think you
really
accommodate me. Yes, you are faster. We've talked about this. You're faster, but you're very kind to know that maybe I'm not quite in the same mindset. But I will say about your smaller steps, the first time you shared that with me was probably about 5 years ago or whenever we ran the 10K in Vermont.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the hilliest route. As we've talked about, my brother who's from Vermont and ran it told me he hoped I got a leg cramp on my way home because he thought the route was terrible. As someone who lives in hilly Vermont, thought it was the worst route ever. It's that hilly. But that was our strategy to get up really pretty steep hills. I mean, those were legit Vermont mountain hills that we had to get over and that were pretty brutal. That I thought that was a really good strategy. To be honest, I run the Turkey Chase in town, which is a very hilly route. It goes downhill and then it goes uphill pretty steeply. And believe it or not, in a race, most people shoot out. And because I know that has a downhill, then a steep uphill, I usually take it easy when I start out so that when I get to the hill, usually can pass a lot of people on the hill because by then they've run out of gas and they're walking, and
Right.
I've done the downhill in a good way. Then what's really worked for me is going very, very slowly up a hill. It probably means the small steps as well as really slower pace, which, if I'm honest, you and I both know, if I just did my arms by my side and pump my arms up that little slope that psychologically has me screwed up, if we just went slower, I'd probably feel better.
Yeah. There was a hill on our old route that was like, ah, right when we get to the top, we can walk. So that was just so motivating. The hill
Yeah.
we have now at the end, it's steep. We totally broke it down yesterday. I don't know why we did that, but it's steep. It's very steep. And then we get to the top of that, and then it's still up, but it's more gentle.
Yes.
So it's like it never ends. And then we stop because it's the end of our run. So it's just, I think it's just like a harder hill. It's like a longer hill, and we can't stop right when we get to the top, which makes it harder.
Well,
But
that's a really good point, though. Do you think sometimes we do a different route from our running route where we could start on a hill and start climbing? I wonder.
oh,
So one part is it better to have those hills
right.
in the beginning when you have a little more in your tank and you get them over with and then come down? Because I feel like that one's been a little easier. It's a brutal hill. It's way harder
Yeah.
than anything
Oh,
you've
that
done more
hill.
traditional.
I totally forgot about that hill. You know what? My legs don't work until like 10 minutes into a run. Do
Mm.
your legs work right away? My legs do not. Like I can't even communicate with them until 10 minutes in.
I
And so
feel better.
that hill, that
Yeah.
when we did that way and what started with that hill, it was 1,000 times harder than it would be on a normal run.
It's actually 1,000 times harder, but to get it over with. So by the end, we're kind of running flat or slightly inclined because we still end on that same hill that we're talking about. Then to your point, it's that those long like hills that kind of come up. They're not steep and tall. They're kind of across, but they go on and on and on and on and
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
And sometimes I think those can be harder versus you just get it over with. But I'll plug in my mom, was an amazing runner in her peak days. She had a strategy on races, and she's someone who would get first place in her age division. She would walk the hills,
mm,
and then she would run as fast as she could down, and it was a strategy, and it worked for her. She would
yeah,
like that would help her still win. Like, I'm not winning any awards, but she was a believer. She did not do well on hills, and her strategy was, I'll walk the hill and then I'll go shooting down and then gain momentum to be able to take it on. And that was actually a racing strategy. So that's another way you could do hills. I do think, you just to go back to what you said, breaking down the hill. I wonder if that's going to be my first is mind over matter. I just got to kind of get over some of my mindset for each portion of our run, because now I'm expecting it. This is going to be easy. This is going to be hard. This part is when I lose momentum. This hill is just killing me at the end, and just go much slower and do like still an arm pumping strategy, but just say, let's go slower. And that way, and then break it down into 3 parts. I'd probably change my mindset versus, oh, here comes the hill, I can't run up it.
yeah. Well, you got to pump your arms. You got to move your arms.
I'm
For the
going to
love
pump
of,
him like Forrest Gump
for
up
the
the
love
next
of
one.
God, please move your arms.
Remember Forrest Gump when he did the like weird, like
I don't
open
even know how
hand?
you move forward without pumping your arms. I move every part of my body just to like push myself up the hill.
Don't you
But
kind of have to do that to run?
do you?
Move every part of your body? Like, what part of your body would you? I guess you're not moving your head side to side.
Yeah, I do that. If it gets me up there, I'll do it. I'm trying to think. Do I look up to the top of the hill or do I just look in front of me?
Oh, that's interesting. I look
I think
down more often. How about
where do
you?
you look? Where do you
I look
look?
down toward my feet or ahead of my feet. Like, I look
So
ahead.
you don't look at like your goal at the top of the hill. You
Mm,
look just what's in front of you.
I probably am 50-50 on the upward slope. On our old route, when we had that one big hill in the first, in the like the second, like right at the middle part of our run, or probably toward the getting to the middle part, and we had the steeper uphill climb. I think that one, I couldn't look to the top because then I in my mind I would be looking at how much more I had to go. So when I looked down, it always made it go by faster because I wasn't kind of clocking, oh my gosh, I got to get up to this part.
Yeah.
But I had that mind over matter at the end, that awful like bump up to the railroad tracks. I just couldn't get over. I had to walk
Yeah.
at the top. So there is something I got to change about my mindset, but also to your point, that strategy for me is usually looking down and ahead. How about you? Do you look up to the
I
top?
I don't know, like as I was thinking about it, I count houses or telephone poles. So I don't even look at the hill. I just realized that. So like when I start that hill, I'll say 4 houses. It's
Mhm.
4 house. I just, and then I just count down 3 houses, 2 houses, 1 house instead of thinking about the hill. I guess I must do that for stuff that's hard. I feel like our whole route is uphill.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun that we just got back from our run, but we didn't run together. Is that
Yes, I
is that what
am.
you wore?
Yes, this is what I wore, and I actually did run part of our old route because we had a time that we had to finish. So
Yeah.
we had to kind of keep it within like a 5K. It actually from our starting point was actually a little more than 5K.
I saw
Um,
your cars. I saw your cars parked, and I wondered if you were doing that route. And then, of course, it's summertime, which means one thing, porta potty season. So
oh, our favorite
I
season.
always do my routes, my routes around those. But what was
Yeah,
I
well,
gonna say?
just to say that we ran that route, this is the interesting part. The places where I would have had a harder time because I wasn't in the same mindset because it wasn't starting from our original starting point,
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
a regular thing. I ran all the parts that I normally can't run.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I had to fully change out of my clothes when I got home and put on a whole new like I'm wearing running stuff, but I did not run. Not a single thing I'm wearing is what I ran in. I was
I am disgusting
drenched.
right
I was
now.
drenched. Yeah.
I am too. I am disgusting. It looks like I have my arms up in a relax, like my hand on my forehead, kind of, and my arm behind my neck. It's really because my armpits, I can't put my arms down right now because they would stick. I'm in a running tank for those and like a running bra, and I'm in like, my regular shorts. My armpits are so disgusting because it was 98% humidity,
Yeah, it was so
which
gross.
is
It was
awful.
like one of those things where I went to take off my stuff and it like rolled up. It was just so soaked. It was like I jumped in the pool, came out, and you know how you can't get clothes off when
I was
you're
just gonna say, did you get stuck in your running bra?
yeah,
Did you have that
yeah,
happen?
yeah. It rolled up. I got I got it like caught right here, and I'm like, my arms are stuck by my ears and I couldn't
Oh
get
my.
it out. It was dangerous. I almost had to do the podcast that way.
Maybe I'll put my hands on my hips just like I do in the run, just so that I don't have my
Just
arms, just in
yeah.
tribute to your being frustrated with me with the with
Drives
the
me
chicken
crazy.
arms, and I'll have it right now so I don't stink.
It just blows my mind. You blow my mind.
So just to close, we're going to ask some questions of each other. We thought that could be fun to kind of bring up some specific questions at the end of our podcast that we want to know. So what are you listening to on your run?
This week, I'm listening to a book called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. You would really like it. It's an older book. It's a fascinating look at rich, poor, wealth,
So sort of
money,
a discussion about how people are with money and what might lead to that, or what
our
might lead to.
our mindset on money.
Oh, mindset on money. Oh, I like that.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm terrible at summaries, but I think you would like it. It's a good book.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, Lynn
Um,
Twist.
I'm interesting in that I don't probably run that much now without other people. So I don't tend to listen to things on runs because I'm with other people chatting. But I do walk with my dog each day, usually 1 to 2 miles. And that's
Mm,
where I really put my listening in. So when I'm walking, and I love my Hoopla app, which is the app that comes with your library card because I can get books for free and I love audiobooks.
mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to an audiobook I met a few years ago. It's by Lisa Unger called Confessions on the 745. It's really just kind of an interesting mystery about a nanny that disappears and a con artist that might be involved with this couple and what they're going through. And you're trying to understand, is the nanny disappearing or is it a con? How is everybody connected? And it's told from their point of view. I actually have listened to one that came out really recently called Secluded Cabin Sleep 6 by Lisa Unger, and it's the same audiobook voice actor. I can't remember her name, but it seems like all her books run that theme where it gives you a different character and what they're experiencing and what they're thinking. So
Hmm.
I love thrillers and mysteries,
Mm.
and I tend to do a lot of those when I walk.
I love those. I
So
wish
you
I
might
could listen to those, but I don't sleep at night, so.
well, you know me, I'm the person that, to calm myself before bed, I watch Dateline in
Yeah,
2020 where people are
right.
getting murdered. So there's,
Yeah, funny. Funny.
clearly there's something there that somebody would analyze psychologically of me
We'll do that. We'll
watching
do that
really.
on Monday.
All right. What's your question?
Shannon, what's one workout this week that you're going to do that's not a run?
Well, I talked about walking as a regular thing. I won 10 free classes at a local dance bar studio that also includes yoga and all sorts of different workouts. And so what I've been doing with those 10 free workouts is just trying things I've never done. I've really been enjoying it. Different types of workouts to add. So I'm looking, but I believe if I'm correct, I've tried yoga, vinyasa yoga that we did this Friday that we talked about that I
Mhm.
really, really enjoyed. But I got to look, I believe I am taking a booty yoga class this week. But bottom line is
What
I've
is
done a
that?
dance cardio. I
What's a
don't
booty
know, but
yoga?
yeah, it's another type of yoga. It sounds like it's much harder. And I talked to a woman as I came out of the vinyasa yoga class the last time, but she said it's spelled BUTI, but she said it's pronounced booty and it might as well be called booty in the way that you think because it actually does a lot to your glutes. So it sounds like it might be a more
Like lungy.
intense yoga, and
Yeah.
I'm new to yoga and like the ones that are more flowy and easy. So we'll see if I like it. But I've done dance cardio, which was really fun. And I'm terrible at dancing. I look like I'm the Tin Man versus everybody else that's like, doing these flowy things with their hands. I could not vogue and step. So I had to it was like unreal. I've tried bar, kind of entry level bar, and like I said, yoga. So I'm going to be doing, I believe, a booty yoga class to add to my repertoire of trying something new. How about you, Kate?
I have been trying to get back into lifting weights because
Oh, yeah.
I got off of that. I was running a lot, like every day I was running. And so I have committed to not running as much and trying to do more weights.
And now you do that at home, like you have your
Yeah,
weights set
I
up, a
have my
bench.
yeah, I have my gym at home, my Taylor Swift on Alexa. We jam out. I don't listen to Taylor Swift that much. I know it sounds like I do. I just joke around. She's good though.
I think you love Taylor Swift and you don't want to admit it. Well, listen, you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm so excited we finally got another Sunrise Sisters to wrap.
Yeah, me too. That was fun.
Sunrise Sisters would like to thank Sterling-Lancaster Community Television, all of our friends on social media, our listeners.
I'd like to thank Brooke Winsman for our fantastic logo. Thanks for listening. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kate, and thanks for running with us.